Hello Airsoft friends, and welcome to this video today, where today I'm going to be taking a look at a few pretty sick pistol carbines. Big thank you to Novritsch for sending me these bits, big thank you to my patrons for supporting the channel, and a big thank you for you for watching, liking, and subscribing. What is a pistol carbine? You may be thinking if you're not familiar with that term. Well, a pistol carbine is essentially when you have a pistol and then you put a kit on it so you can use it more like a carbine. A carbine like an M4 kind of rifle type thing, like an M4A1 carbine. That's essentially what a carbine is. So you would essentially change this into this, or this, or this, or pretty much any type of carbine kit put onto a pistol. Now there are plenty of different carbine kits out there for you to put your little beautiful hands on, made by a variety of different manufacturers for a variety of different replicas. And by the way, I call them replicas because if I use the G word, YouTube isn't a big fan of that. The ones I'm going to be looking at in particular in this video are the ones for the Novritsch SSP and SSE18s. Now if you're not familiar with those replicas, the SSE18 is their Glock style replica, but it's actually an electric pistol or an AEP, and the SSP18 is the gas version. So this one here takes green gas or CO2 magazines, or you could also HPA tap the magazines to put this onto like standard air instead. I actually have one of the big drum mags for these, which I've tapped to HPA, and that thing is a blast. HPA is generally a lot better than gas because, you know, you don't have the cooldown effect from gas, but then you have to carry a bottle around with you and it's a bit more of a pain. So yeah, using a pistol as a primary, HPA. If you're using it as a sidearm every now and again, gas is fine. Now you may think that because these are both like Novritsch Glock type pistols that the kits would fit on both of them equally and the same, but that's just not the case. If you want to get the SSP18, you need to get the SSP18 kit, and if you want to get the SSE18, you need to get the SSE18 kit. Now this SSP18 is looking a little bit more jazzier than the SSE18, and there are a few extra bits on here as well as the carbine kit. So let's talk about those, why they're on there, and whether you'd want them too. First of all, we've got the suppressor. Now the suppressor does help keep your shots quiet. With a gas replica though, you do have the slide going backwards and forwards, which is going to be noisy. So this, to a certain extent, may be something you don't necessarily need. However, I like it on there because it looks absolutely cool. And this rectangular modular suppressor, also by Novritsch, just looks absolutely sick on the build. Next up, we've got this foregrip grip handle-y type thing here, and you can actually fit a magazine in the front of there too. So if you want to run it more like a carbine, hold as if you're holding the mag well, then this is very comfortable. It also comes with extra Picatinny rails you can put on this side and this side. However, I've taken them off just because I don't really mount any accessories there, and exactly where my hand and fingers would go when I'm holding it when I'm playing airsoft. Next, I've actually got a different slide to the standard SSP18, and I've also got a different outer barrel, and the outer barrel is very important to note. With the stock SSP18, if you want to adjust your hop, you have to take the upper slide off, and then you can get to your hop adjustments in there, which is quite a pain because with the carbine kit on, that means you have to take the whole carbine kit off, and that is just not how you want to live your life. So from Novritsch, I got the threaded TDC outer barrel here, which means I can put suppressors and stuff on it as well. Actually, the stock outer barrel does have threads on it too. However, with this one here, you've got the little grub screw in the top there, which means you can adjust your hop on the fly. Very handy, and I would go so far as saying essential. The slide is also different too. It's the lightweight polymer one, and it's got all these like cool cutouts there as well. So because it's lightweight, reciprocate faster and maybe increase your FPS a little bit. If not, then yeah, the kickback on it will be less because this is less weighty than the standard metal one. And now that brings us to the carbine kit itself. It comes with a handy dandy Picatinny rail along the top here, which is also cut out down the middle, which means you can kind of use it as an iron sight, which is pretty cool. It is quite low if you did want to do that, but it is not impossible, especially with this stock adapter. I'm going to talk a bit more about that later on. It also has a cutout here, so you can use the TDC outer barrel, as I mentioned earlier. And on this side here, it has one of the Novritsch universal holster adapter bits built into it, so you can use it with the universal holster adapter system, which is actually pretty useful. Like I really love using it with my SSP5s out in the field. You can also buy the adaptery things just on their own from Project Airsoft, so you can put them on, well, anything. With the SSP18 version 2, you come with this little like holdy bit here at the back, which you use to cock the pistol, because, you know, I suppose you could just do it from the front there, but that's not very cool. And, you know, using a carbine, you're quite used to pulling it like this. And then you have a magnet here, which you use with the folding stock. Although this folding stock is a little bit different to the stock one because the stock looks a little bit like this. This is an Aries folding stock, and I actually made an adapter so we can use it on these carbine kits. Well, I say we, through Project Airsoft, and if you're not familiar with Project Airsoft, check out the link in the description below. But why would you want to use a stock adapter and not use the stock anyway? Well, for me, the stock is just a little bit lackluster. Comes with this adaptery bit here as well. Just ignore the fact that this is an SSG10A3 folding stock in there. I'm going to get to that part in a moment. I found when using the stock on the SSP and SSE18 Carbine kits, to me personally, it felt like it stuck out a little bit too far. And also, this is a very small point of contact, and I could never get it to be that comfortable when I was running it in the field. Whereas using something like this, you've got a very big contact point, and it is super comfortable, not to mention sturdy, when you are running around playing Airsoft trying to get those eliminations. Now, I didn't just make an adapter to use the Aries folding stock, no, I've also done an adapter that's got a Picatinny back on there too, so you could use the SSQ22 stock, for example, or any other stock that attaches using a Picatinny mount. I have also done a mount for the SSG10A3 stock here, which you can see, and that is actually connected still at the minute to the stock folding part of the carbine kit, so that just locks around and clips in place just like that, and now you've got the cool SSG10A3 folding stock attached. And with the SSE18 here, I've got an adapter on the back so you can use it with standard M4 buffer tubes. At the minute, I've got a kind of like CQP PDW type pull-out folding stock here, which you press that and then that comes out like that, which is actually pretty darn comfy and works so well with the 3x prison scope from Novritsch too. I absolutely love this scope, by the way, and it's on discount at the minute at 149 euros. So yeah, definitely go pick one of those up. This kind of stock is super handy because if you want to be like a lot tighter but still have a stock setup, then you can get really short with it, or you can pull it out to its max pulling outness. Even then, it's still more like an MP7 type size as opposed to anything else, but super comfy. All of these stock adapters are now available on the Project Airsoft website, so go check those out and pick them up. And there's also a bundle which includes all of them if you don't know which stock you want to use. Now, I did mention the magnet on the carbine kit, and on the stock there's a little magnet here that sucks across to this magnet like that to hold it in place. So if you are using the original stock on there, then when you fold it in, that's going to hold in place just like that. However, with any of the Project Airsoft adapter ones, we don't have the magnety bits on there because whatever stock you use, they kind of go into it at a different place. That is a bit of a shame. However, with this Aries folding stock, as you can see, you can wiggle it around and the stock doesn't go anywhere and it's always ready to go. That is just so comfy. In terms of an SSP18 or Glock carbine setup, this is just so darn good. Like this with the 3x prison scope that's on the SSE18 Carbine at the minute, the drum mag, and having it HPA fit. Oh, it's so good. You can't see here, but I've also got the extended inner barrel for the SSP18 installed in there as well, and my days, it's just an absolute beast. I did do a video quite a while back actually when I ran my AAP in a carbine configuration, and I was lifting 0.4 gram BBs in that using the drum mag but on gas, and I was like beaming people in the head from like 60-70 meters away. That was such a fun game. I really enjoyed that, and I'm hoping that with these things I'm going to be able to take these out into the field more and just have an absolute ball. I am a big believer in having your kit be easy to carry, quick to carry, and also light to carry too, because the lighter it is, the less energy you're using on that, and the more energy you can focus on your enemies and enjoying airsoft, and these allow you to do just that while having a very similar functionality to a normal airsoft rifle. And say you're an airsoft sniper where you need to carry a sidearm, you can take one of these pistols in its carbine form, put it on a universal holster on your side there, just like that. And then if you do get into trouble, you can easily take it out and you could clear an entire building if you wanted to. The SSE18 unfortunately doesn't have the TDC ability in there, which is a real shame. So I highly recommend zeroing in your pistol before you put the carbine kit on it. Otherwise, you're just gonna have a bit of an annoying time. I mean, it's not the hardest thing in the world to take the carbine kit on and off, and especially with the SSE18, it's essentially just like this one bolt bit here and then the whole thing comes away. The SSP18 is a little bit more annoying because you need to take off these two bits here as well, because they're like the cocking bits and the charging angle bits, and they stick out the sides, and you can't take it off with those bits on there. And then it's just the same one bolt here that you need to remove before you can get inside it. Initially, I was a little bit skeptical about carbine kits because in my head, I'm like, surely you're just taking something that's not meant to do that thing and you're trying to make it do something it's not meant to do, so it's not going to be as good. However, after actually using them and playing around with them, my mind's come around and they're actually really fun to use. I see people with like madly insane custom AAP builds that cost like quite a bit of cash, and I'm looking at them and now I've got more of an understanding of why you do that. It's so nice to do like a full customized build of what you want and have something super unique while also being highly functional. And I think it's really cool that there's a platform out there like the AAP. Sure, the internals do need a bit of love if you want to get it to, you know, somewhere where it doesn't break, because my AAP is broken in the past, which I suppose is actually a good point though, because I've not had anything on my SSP18 break yet. So yeah, so go check them out on the Novritsch website. Go and check out the little accessory adaptory things as well on the Project Airsoft website. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't hit it yet, and I will see you in the next one.